Welcome to NewsBreak26 in Southwest New Brunswick. I'm Nathalie Sturgeon. Here's what's happening in our part of the world. A 26-year-old woman is dead after a hit and run in St. Stephen. Police were called after a report of a woman struck by a vehicle on Pleasant Street in Milltown. It is believed the woman was hit by a car traveling east at a high rate of speed. The victim died at the scene as a result of her injuries. RCMP say they are now searching for the vehicle, who did not stay at the scene and is expected to have significant front-end damage. Anyone with information should contact the St. Stephen RCMP detachment or Crime Stoppers. Seniors gathered in Market Square this week to seek action on the climate crisis. Here's more on that story.
What do we want? Climate action. When do we want it? Now. Yay!
That's the pleas of a group of about 70 people gathering for Seniors for Climate, which happens to coincide with National Seniors Day. The group gathered to show they are seeking action on the climate crisis in the province and across the country, with more than 70 events happening.
We have a vested interest in fighting climate change and asking for action from our governments.
Jarvis says seniors who have been through a lot of change and progress have grown frustrated by the government not taking serious action on the climate crisis. In the last year, Charlotte County has been hit with a number of strong winter storms, causing damage in many areas. In May 2023, a forest fire burned more than 500 hectares of land and forced the evacuation of more than 300 people in St. Andrews, Shamcook, and Boquebec. Many people at the event say they are anxious about the future, especially for their families. For Jarvis's 97-year-old mother, Dawn, the urgency is there for all the many generations her family has grown.
It's so important when I see these floods and the devastation on the news. I'm just appalled.
Some participants feel the process of fighting climate change begins at home.
But not only that, even in our own households, for instance, recycling. And I've noticed that many people do not take the time or the care to recycle, and I'm pretty adamant about that, personally. Anyway.
In general, the organization says they want action from governments who continue to not walk the talk on climate change. At St. Stephen Council, a debate was sparked over an unsightly property in the community. Take a look at what unfolded in the chambers. Council faced tough questions on Tuesday about the handling of an unsightly property on Milltown Boulevard. The property, which has never been identified by staff or any members of council due to regulations, has fallen into disrepair. The rear of the building is partially removed with a crumbling foundation and material around it. A heated debate began after a presentation from Chief Administrative Officer Jeff Renaud, who took a seminar called How to Deal with Annoying Crap, an open, bold group discussion on dealing with crazy and how to embrace such challenges.
We've been in this room enough times of recent that the dangerous and unsightly files are a frustration to the public, largely because we're not in a position to provide a lot of information about each file. From all the to paraphrase the session title, from all the crazy that we like to term some of this stuff, we need to be able to pull it apart and kind of figure out what's caused. If we can get to the root cause, we'll never get rid of the crazy, unfortunately, but at least we can mitigate it to a degree.
It drew swift criticism from Councillor Emily Rodas.
Crazy doesn't come out of nowhere. As a social worker, I see this. It takes time for people to get to a point where they explode, and it's often because they have been devalidated time after time after time, and they get to a point where they're no longer willing to be cooperative and work well with us.
She says people become frustrated by non-answers and vague, unspecific timelines associated with dealing with unsightly properties.
And I can tell you right now, if that were my building and my entire livelihood were connected to it, my home and my business, I would be losing my mind. And we all would. And I would, as a counselor, if it were my home, it'd be dealt with.
Rodas also called out Mayor Alan McEachern, saying greater advocacy is required to the province for a more transparent and expedited process. There have been allegations that staff are being attacked, especially on social media, but also that staff are being mean in response.
I'm saying in this that the town people are getting mean. and they're getting mean because they don't really know what to do. But by saying that, you can't keep attacking our staff. They're good staff. They're an excellent staff.
Deputy CAO Sean Morton says the process is put in place to ensure everything is done right to avoid the town being sued, which would ultimately cost the taxpayers, something the municipality is dealing with on another property. Mayor Alan McEachern declined in an interview with CHCO-TV to speak about the businesses in his downtown, saying he appreciates them all.
Just think if we just went on the emotion and of what's going on to one particular case, we can get in a lot of trouble, and so we got to be careful.
That's our news for now. I'm Nathalie Sturgeon. For more, visit our website at chco.tv or subscribe for free on YouTube.
A news and public affairs production of CHCO-TV, New Brunswick's only source for independent community television.